It is time to sculpt some open eyes on the Brian head that I've been working on. Now in previous tutorials I took the Brian head, this was from a life cast. I made a silicone life cast of Brian's head, then I made a clay copy, and then I molded that clay copy with 5130F platinum silicone. Now if you missed those tutorials, that's a two-part tutorial, three-part if you include the life cast and the clay casting portion, and I will link those on the end screen. Now, one of the benefits to making a flexible silicone mold like this is many times you can remove your clay original from that mold, and with just a little bit of cleanup, it is ready to use for another project. Now, this is a blend of soft and medium monster clay, so in between sculpting sessions, I kept this in my work refrigerator that I have just for that purpose, to keep the clay nice and cold in the West Texas heat. Now for my open eyes, I'll be using some acrylic eye forms, and I'll be cutting open Brian's eyes and sculpting his eyelids around these acrylic eyes. Now I do this as kind of a two-step process because I am not as proficient a sculptor as many of you watching this probably are. So the way I do it, just to minimize the sculpting work, what I usually do is cut out the eye sockets. I usually work with a hollow clay head, and I cut out the eyes, the eyelids with an X-Acto knife or a spatula, and then I insert the eyes, the eye forms, from the back of the hollow clay head. And the reason I do that, again, my sculpting skills are probably not near as good as many of you watching this video, but some of you might appreciate this approach just because this does allow for the easy swap out later on of the acrylic eyes for the resin eye forms. And I know a lot of you go ahead and just sculpt using just plain white resin eye forms, but I kind of like to have the eyes that I'm going to ultimately use the right color for the person, and that just helps me visualize. Again, I'm a pretty basic sculptor, so just having acrylic eyes that look like human eyes just helps me a lot better in getting my sculpt just right. Now what I'm doing here is, once I've cut out the eyelids, I'm using my a dental tool to cut out the inside of those eye sockets so it's kind of rounded on the inside of the eye socket. And that way the acrylic eye can sit right up against those eyelids. So the whole point of doing this approach is, again, because my sculpting abilities are lacking, what I usually do is cut out as little of the eyes as possible so I can keep as much of that original clay in place, and then press those eye forms into place. And then once I've got that done and roughly placed where I want them to be, and then that's one of those things, it's just a matter of just looking at the eyes, and when it looks like they're looking back, that's a good indicator that you have the eyes where they need to be. Now, one thing I don't show in this video is reference photos. Now, I used photos of Brian off Facebook since I was just using him in kind of a neutral expression. But if you are sculpting ahead of someone where you have a surprised or shocked or frightened look or something like that, it's a really good idea to have them do that expression for you and take photos from multiple angles, and then use those photos as reference and use that as a guide for your sculpture. So once I have the eyes roughly positioned in those eye sockets where I want them to be, I start rolling out some little clay eyelids and gradually building up the eyelids to create a realistic open eye. And I should mention also that the whole practice of inserting eyes inside a hollow head is kind of a holdover from my days of working with microcrystalline wax. When I worked at a foundry many moons ago, I had a lot of access to microcrystalline wax in a crock pot, and that was really easy for pouring up prop heads. So I'd just slosh a few layers of wax, and once I built up the wax to about 3/8 of an inch thick or so, then I would demold that once it was cool. And then, of course, I could do the same practice, what you're seeing here, where I'd cut open the eyes and then insert the acrylic eyes from the back of the hollow head. So the only difference here is with monster clay. Monster clay is obviously softer than microcrystalline wax, so I typically build this up a little bit thicker than I would microcrystalline wax. But same kind of idea here, and again, I just like that approach because it allows me to put those eyes in from the back and retain as much of that original sculpt as possible. And now I'm just going in with a dental tool, just gradually correcting that lower eyelid. And one of the things that's really handy for when you're working with eyelids is brushes, nylon brushes, toothbrushes, and wire brushes to create those little fine wrinkles and skin texture around eyes. So here again, I'm just rolling out those little clay snakes and gradually building up that eyelid. And you can also reinforce the eyes from the back. Again, this is something that is not conducive to filming, but inside that head, I've also used a few little balls of clay to position, to hold those eyes in that position. So that way I can sculpt on the outside without popping the eye out of the socket and having it fall into the head. So one of those little tricks there of just using a few little balls of soft clay pushed up against the acrylic eye from the back of the head, and that holds those eye forms in place during the sculpting process. And then that's also easy to remove those later on when I swap those out for resin eye forms. Now, once I've sculpted the eyes open and pretty close to the way I want them, I know I'm going to have to do a little bit of finishing work. I am ready to swap those out for the resin eye forms with the threaded inserts that are going to allow this to key into the resin mold. And that's really important for this process because ultimately when I remold this piece, I'm going to be molding it with a hard resin mold. And the mold method is actually a slightly different method than I've used before. I'm going to use the method that Mike McCracken used on this silicone mask mold. And what he did for this was he did a surface coat of TC1630 and then backed that up with the BR75D. And I really like that approach, and that makes for a very fast mold with a really good surface coat. It gets a lot of really good detail, and because you're using the 1630, which is very moisture resistant, that allows you to use a clay dividing wall, a water-based clay dividing wall. So that is the approach I'll be using, and then because this is a nice hard mold, it will allow these eye forms to key in and screw into place in that resin mold. So here are my eye forms. These are just copies that I made, silicone molds of these acrylic eyes. And then when I cast these up, I put some screws in there. So now I'm just popping those acrylic eyes out and swapping out those for the eye forms. You see I got a little bit of distortion popping those out, but that's okay. The sculpting wasn't 100% done. Took it about 90% there, and now I'm ready to finish up with those proper eye forms in place. And now again, once I've got those adjusted so they're looking the right way, I don't have it cross-eyed or something like that, then I am ready to do the final touches on those open eyes. And I should also point out at this point that the eyes, I cast those in TC800, and that's kind of a general purpose casting resin that cures up to a very hard resin, which will key in very nicely to that 1630 mold. And the main reason I used the TC800 versus, say, more of the 1630 resin is just for contrast. So I have a white eye with a clay background, because otherwise I'd have kind of a charcoal gray eye that is kind of distracting to sculpt around. And here I'm just using a nylon brush to add some texture, some final detail to those eyelids. And now we're ready to make the mold. And in a follow-up video, I'll be doing the full mold making process, so stay tuned for that. But basically the way this works is with those eyelids, since I have those screws coming out of the eyes, so those are those screws when they are protruding about a good 1.5 inches out of the eyes, and that allows me to build the mold around that in such a way as those will screw into that outside mold. So there's the first layer with the 1630, and then I'll build it up with the BR75D. And then that threaded screw will be sticking out of the mold, and that will allow that to all be screwed together in the final form. And then what that does is that allows, when I'm casting silicone, that allows me to get a really nice eye socket that as soon as I demold my silicone head, I can pop my little acrylic eye forms into place, and they'll already be facing the right direction, and I'll get really nice clean eyelids. Now, as usual, I will link all of the products in the video description, so check those out. Here's a sneak preview of the finished resin mold before I washed it out. So stay tuned for that. I'll be covering that full process of making a 1630 and BR75D resin mold with the eye inserts. And be sure to check the end screen here for the previous tutorials where I molded the Brian head with TC5130F. And as always, thanks for watching and thanks for supporting the channel.